Hey, how's it going, guys? Welcome back to the channel. Welcome to the weekly reset for week number 4 of Dragonflight Season 3. We've got quite a bit to talk about today. Obviously, we've got the vaults. We're going to talk about ADHD in more detail because we've got some new viewers that don't actually know or understand what the ADHD updates are. So I'm going to talk a little bit about that. Obviously, going to talk about what happened in the last reset. And then we're going to talk about things that we're going to be focusing on this reset. But this week, I believe we have 4 vaults because of the way vaults work now, and you'll see why in a second. But I think we're going to kick things off by taking a look at the warrior. All right, so it might be a good idea to pick up and complete the weekly, which is 4 mythic dungeons. This will give you a Midrasil heroic cache. The item level starts, I believe, at 467. I think you can go a little bit higher because of some of the special items. Might be worth actually doing this before you take something from the vault, because obviously if you take, I don't know, a trinket from the vault and you get the same thing from the cache, you're going to be pretty mad. Well, that is incredibly awkward. We're now on the druid because apparently the warrior doesn't actually have a vault for this week. That's how bad my memory is. We did a key, like the previous reset for stream, because it was requested. I think we did like a very low 5 Everbloom or something, which, by the way, every Saturday we do run viewer keys on EU. So if that's something you're interested in, open to absolutely everyone. We can do as little as 2. We can go up to 18s and 20s because I think by now a lot of you can handle that. So yeah, it doesn't matter if you've never jumped into Mythic Plus before. Everyone is absolutely welcome, and I look to rotate the groups as much as I can so I can get as many of you involved as possible. But although I'm not actively doing Mythic Plus on the druid, we have vaults because I tried getting Keita some gear on her druid, but it didn't really go so well. So I've not actually stepped into Mythic Plus, and I did the Time Walkings. I believe it was Legion Time Walkings last reset, so very low on item level, 436. We did again get the cache from the Time Walkings, so I thought I'd open that now. Now, in terms of the spec for this season on the druid, I honestly don't know. Oh, apparently balance. Maybe I'll keep it at that. I have no idea why it's balance. I think I went feral, and that was basically because Keita's feral, and I was trying to trade her some LFR gear, which she got herself anyway, and I didn't get anything. So we got some LFR vaults. I'm just going to open this. It really doesn't matter. Oh, okay, so maybe I should have opened as Resto, because I think Resto was one of the healers, and I'll touch on like tanks and healers after, but basically TLDR, I'm looking for a tank and a healer to complete like 20s on this season, and I'm probably going to do that live on stream, but I'm also going to upload it onto YouTube as well. So as much as this weapon's really nice, if it was a trinket, it would have been like balance, damage, and pretty sure Resto go for healing trinkets, so it's not terrible though, so I'll take it. And I guess we'll open the vault. I'll just do the same, it's fine, whatever. Oh, this is awkward. We got Vault from Season 2. Does that give me 1,000 gold? Because it's 2. It's actually going to give me a 2 tyrannical key as well. So, all right, this is the LFR one. Oh, socket, but like the LFR gear is veteran. Oh, I'm actually getting tier. I was confused about the dungeon vaults for a second, and then I remembered that I did the time walk-ins, and I absolutely love this quality of life change, because now obviously like normal dungeons up to like even I think Mythic 0 work towards the vault. So it just gives you that more of an option, and typically like I wouldn't take the LFR stuff because it's always going to be on the lower side, but because everything is veteran anyway, like it's actually higher. So usually the Mythic Plus stuff would be higher than the raid stuff, but yeah, I think this is a no-brainer. Probably just going to take the chest because it's the biggest upgrade for now. Like, really doesn't matter at the minute. Stats don't matter, the slots don't matter. Gonna get everything eventually, and I mean, by the time I actually look to play any of these characters, I'm gonna have like full charges available to go and get everything. So that's one piece on the druid. I'm not gonna bother equipping anything now because it really doesn't matter. We'll get into the paladin and the demon hunter, and should have some pretty spicy vaults. All right, the paladin, super excited for this one. Demon hunter is obviously the one we care about the most, but this one comes close as well. We'll take a look. I believe we did get KSM. We got some upgrades. I've been holding off on the charges for tiers, so I'm actually still rocking like 2 and 2. Yeah, 2 and 2. But the one thing you will notice, we got a mega item upgrade, and that was the weapon. So every Saturday, like mentioned, you guys can come and join me for keys. I play mostly the paladin for these ones, and over the months, how I've been doing it, because I play my ults for them mostly, bring the Demon Hunter when it's needed. I like to pass on pretty much every item, and if it's an upgrade to you guys, the viewers, you guys matter more than I do. We had a wonderful blood DK that goes by the name Saj Businessman, and he was kind enough to trade this even though it was an upgrade. I took the item, inspected his gear to see that this was not only, well, I'm pretty sure this is like BIS for him anyway, but it was a huge upgrade and I felt absolutely terrible. Like, I still feel bad about it now. I'm usually the one that gives gear away, even if it's an upgrade to me, because as I say, you guys are more important than I. There are so many streamers and content creators out there that kind of abuse their community. Not gonna lie, not gonna name any names. You guys probably know who they are. Whether that be Mythic Plus or Raid, everything usually gets funneled down to them, and I'm kind of the opposite. I guess I'm completely the opposite, but yeah. Saj, thank you so much. Massively appreciated. I think I'm probably far too cheap to actually buy the legendary, so this is an item that I'm probably gonna stick with unless I get a myth level. So yeah, again, I feel terrible, but Saj, thank you so much. So this shall forever be known as Saj How. Still really enjoying it. I've got 2 charges, I believe, which you don't have to convert into tier. Can do other pieces if the stats are better for you. Lacking on rings, which seems to be a thing for the DH as well. Trinkets, obviously, we got double pips last week. Pretty lucky on that one. And then we got the KSM token. So gear's kind of irrelevant. Playing the Paladin at the minute purely to help with another community's raid, which we're managing to clear and get some heroic bosses down, so pretty happy with that. But the Paladin is definitely one that I've continued to love since the challenge. It's the only challenge character that I've like fallen in love with and kept going. So we are gonna obviously stick to Ret for now, but once again, I'll talk about tanking because prop looks pretty good right now. All right, so very early this morning, I was able to go and get the weeklies done to get the heroic caches on both the Paladin and the Demon Hunter, because I don't want to open the vault and take something and then open this heroic raid cache and get exactly the same item. That would be very bad. And in terms of like content, I don't want to open the vault and not take anything. I kind of feel like you guys deserve this, and it also helps with the thought process as well, which I've was asked by a viewer, because I think the previous week I took something on the DH. I didn't go and convert, I didn't go and upgrade my gear, and I didn't kind of walk you guys through it. And I've done that in the past. That was something that we've previously done, but I kind of just ran out of time and got lazy, and it's a poor excuse. Yeah, you guys deserve better, and that's not going to happen going forward. All right, let's take a look. Let's take a look. Hero shoulders, which I already have. All right, that's not a great start. It's also lower as well. It does come with leeched though, so you know I need to convert a couple of pieces, and the fact that I'm going to have hero tier potentially, like with leech, I'll take it. I'll take it. All right, fingers crossed for the vault. I believe I've got at least 2 slots full of 18s and up, so myth, and then the raid. Is that shoulders again? Shoulders tier? Of course you give me a weapon. Yeah, it had to be. And then a neck piece, which very high on mastery. The worst stat for it. Add more shoulders? That's the one I just got from the cache. Is that 470 as well? Oh my god. Volcanic vents. Volcanic vents. It's like the same item. I think this one is a no-brainer. We'll go to a myth head. I'll have to convert it, obviously, but again, I've got like a couple of charges and the KSM token. This one comes with avoidance as well, so that's decent. And then I guess I can catalyze these shoulders as well. All in all, I guess pretty happy, because I mean, I'm getting head and shoulders. They both come with a 3rd stat, so you know, leech and avoidance. I didn't state the item level, but you can see I am at 459. 69 giggity. With these equipped, it takes us up to 460, but I'm probably going to hold off on upgrading and spending some crests for the most part, because I need to research and perhaps look at embellishments, because unfortunately last week I took myth legs and that was my embellishment slot. With that, I've got the belt upgrade as well, which I had the belt embellishment. I can't actually remember which one that was. Unstable Frostfire belt, I believe. Yeah, okay. That's the no-brainer. I've got to catalyze this one. All right, if you guys didn't know where to hand in your KSM token or the curios that you can get from the raid, it is in the Emerald Dream, and it's just by this flight path up near the raid itself. So, on the right, we have the curio vendor, And then on the left, we have the KSM token vendor. Be careful with these, obviously, because you've got PvP stuff, as you can see, increases the level in arenas and battlegrounds. You don't want those for PvE, so your Mythic Plus and Raid. The ones you want to pick up for Mythic Plus and Raid will be on the left, and it has the Heroic title at the top. So in terms of pieces, I'm just going to take a quick look at my gear, because the Curio will only give you a champion piece, whereas the KSM will give you a hero piece. So if I already have a hero piece in like my hands, for example, which I don't, I've got champion there. Do I have a hero chest? I don't. So completely irrelevant, I guess, whichever one is the biggest upgrade. That said, however, there is one thing to take into account, is that chest piece typically have more main stat than, say, gloves. So that is one thing to keep in mind. So I think what I'm going to do is spend the KSM token and get the chest piece. So I'm going to do that now. And then we're going to pick up the hands for the Curio. So we're going to go ahead and do that. Open my character screen. We're going to drag those across. We're going to do that like so. All right, 462. Haven't upgraded anything yet, but we finally have our hands on 4 set. I am going to absolutely pump in Saturday's raid, and I cannot wait. But again, I do need to do some research on the embellishments, so I'm not going to go ahead and upgrade anything on the Paladin yet. I'm not going to bother boring you with the enchants and stuff. I do need to go and get legs. That said, I have kind of like a priority when it comes to upgrading. The weapon on the Paladin at least comes first, and I think same for Demon Hunter. After the weapon, because I have a couple of myth pieces which give a lot of main stat, those are probably next in line because I don't really have the trinkets. If I had a really good trinket, maybe a hero piece, then I would probably look to upgrade that first. But again, the main stat from myth pieces, pretty decent as well. All right, on to the Demon Hunter. This is the exciting one, the one I'm nervous about, but also, again, very excited. We did reach 3K in the 3rd week of pushing Mythic Plus, and I'm super, super happy with my progress. Although, I kind of like wanted everything at 23 last week, didn't get there. But yeah, very, very good. Very happy. Item level is 475. This week, we're going to have more crests to spend, which is really, really good. Obviously, last week we got pips. Very happy with that, but it's only champion. If I get another one today, I'm going to be happy, but mad at the same time. Oh, that's pretty intrusive, dude. Oh, thanks for that. Mirror, I'm all right with, but again, there are raid trinkets that I would like to get my hands on, and we'll speak about the raid in a minute, but we did actually get a couple more bosses down, so we've opened up some of those heroic raid trinkets. That would be really, really nice. Rings we're struggling on, and again, like weapons is probably what I want the most. If I can get a double time myth, that would be absolutely amazing. But yeah, not too much more to say on the Demon Hunter. I'll try and keep this one a bit shorter than the Paladin. Of course, I did get the weekly done, so we've got the heroic cache that we're going to open in a second. And with the progress that we made from the bosses, I think we did an additional raid on Monday, and I was able to get my hands on an Ashes. And then I also picked up a weapon which I still need to enchant and, you know, do all the things. I haven't had time to go and do it yet, so that's going to be the plan later. I'm not going to do the Sims on this video, but yeah. And I could really do with a trinket. Don't want a weapon. It's probably going to give me shoulders. Well, I hope Ripo doesn't watch this video. I've got 3 of these now, 2 hero, and well, I'll have to do some simming, but I think overall it probably replaces this. So I'll probably be running both of them, to be honest, because they both have crit. The double time, I mean, it's champion, so it's probably going to lose out. I don't think the time strike's enough to actually edge it over these two. But yeah, it's a weapon. It's hard to be too mad about it. But it's not the trinkets I wanted to get my hands on. All right, it's time for the vault. And again, super nervous. We could get the trinkets from here. Gonna triple check again just to make sure. Don't want any tanking trinkets. Double time. Please. Or signet. I mean, it gave me a trinket, but this is like from one of the first bosses, so I think this one's going to be easier to get hold of. So I think eventually I want to craft my wrists. I think the next one I'm going to craft is my belt, so I'm probably going to pick this up. I need to switch around my embellishments at some point and maybe play around with that. I think this is, yeah, I mean, it has the stats that I'm after. a little bit more on the mastery, which is absolutely fine because of the builds we're running these days. Not super exciting today. Not very happy about the Demon Hunter. Trinkets and weapons will continue to elude me. But we're getting myth gear at the end of the day, so it's hard to be too mad at that. And it's still very, very early, so, you know. All right, so that will take our item level up by exactly 1, and we don't really need to do too much shifting around because I still need to tinker and do some sims with the weapons that I do have and the trinkets. So that's all I'm going to do on the Demon Hunter for today. All right, so that went on much longer than I planned to. I apologize. Sometimes you need to, in this case, yeah, I had to go sim characters and actually think about the embellishments and whatnot. Not the most exciting vault on the Demon Hunter today, but an upgrade myth nevertheless. So before we jump into anything, actually, I did upgrade the lights. They are double the brightness now. So in fact, I've actually been able to go back to the purple. I've had to tone down the colors because they're actually too bright, but yeah, I really like the combination. But if we go back to the previous scene, I just wanted to take maybe a couple of minutes to talk about the ADHD stuff. There isn't so much of an update, but last week or maybe the week before, maybe a new viewer, I guess, didn't really understand what the ADHD update thing was all about. And it's basically like myself and the community, we are quite passionate about mental health. We have a section on the Discord. The channel's there for quite a few reasons. Obviously, if anyone's having a bad day, they can use it to rant, and I don't know, maybe you're going through something and you could do with some support, or maybe you just want to get something off your chest. I think I started the channel by talking about my background and my history and being diagnosed with ADHD and suspected autism. That was back in February. So yeah, I was diagnosed with ADHD at the end of February, and although the doctor said he's pretty certain I have autism, he can't actually do that diagnosis, so it's only suspected at this point. But it gave me some reasons why, and over the months, I've slowly been realizing, and parts of my life and my past starting to make sense, and my habits and this, that, and the other, like my set routine. I have to do things in a certain order, and I really, really, really don't like change, even if it's something that might seem very stupid to some people, like changing one thing in your talent tree because a specific dungeon will require something else, or I find it really hard to adjust to. And then like the ADHD side, there's a lot that comes with that, a lot that I struggle with in my day-to-day life, and a lot that impacts my game as well and my ability to play. So I think the first thing maybe to talk about is my focus or lack of it because of the ADHD. Pretty bad. Medication has changed that, and I'll talk about that in a sec. But there are times like I know my rotation, I know it like the back of my hand, but sometimes you just carelessly press the wrong button without thinking because you've lost concentration, or maybe there's like a cast that's going off, even though I have like the wonderful sound pack that tells me what to do most of the time for like the boss mechanics, and the plater profile comes with stuff that has like frontals and this, that, and the other. Sometimes there's too much going on, even for someone that doesn't have like ADHD and whatnot. So yeah, you'll notice I make a lot of mistakes. I die to stupid stuff. My rotation's all over the place. I know exactly what I have to do, and thankfully like I analyze my gameplay, so I'm picking out my mistakes, which is really, really good as well for improving. So yeah, ADHD impacts a lot. But there's not just the focus, there are a lot of other things that I struggle with. And one of the biggest things for me is, well, I guess it's kind of like two things into one, but they're quite similar. They work together. One is the fear of letting people down, like underperforming, feeling like, let's say the Mythic Plus team that I'm playing with a couple of nights a week. If I'm dying or not doing as much damage as I could be, I very often feel like I'm the reason we don't push as high keys as I'd like, and I know that we're capable of doing. And I very often feel like I'm the one holding everyone back. I'm slowly getting better at that, but it's not something that I can like control. It's, in simple terms, to those that don't understand all of the mental health, the ADHD, autism, even like crossover with OCD, which I wash my hands quite a lot. I don't have OCD, but that is, there's some form of crossover, but our brains are basically wired very differently. So to those that don't have it, can probably focus and they don't have these issues, whereas me and a lot of other people really, really do. it's not something we can just turn off. Got to find different ways to deal with it. I don't always deal with it the right way, but I'm doing my best. The medication is absolutely amazing, by the way. If like ADHD assessment or the medication is something that you are considering, I would highly recommend it. There's a lot of different medication out there. I'm not a doctor, so I can't really advise, but if you are curious and you're considering perhaps getting yourself assessed and going down this route, I would definitely recommend it. Obviously, different medication is going to work for everyone else, but I'm currently on Elvance. It's working wonders for me, and honestly, I don't want to spend another day of my life not on it. I'll end this conversation about the mental health by basically saying I'm basically an open book. So if there is anything, absolutely anything that you guys want to ask or know, feel free to jump in the Discord. You will need access to the mental health channel, which you will see in the rules. You need to react to the channels. We've done it that way so that the Discord's not massively over bloated, and you know, some people don't want to read some of the stuff that's put in that channel. So you guys are more than welcome to jump onto the Discord and ask me whatever you want. All right, that's enough of that. Let's talk about everything that happened in the last reset, because a lot happened. First of all, the Loot Goblins community, massive congrats, give yourselves a pat on the back, because we are now on to Heroic Havoc. We finally managed to get Smolderon down, and it only took us a few attempts for T-Swift. That boss is honestly really easy. Along with that, we managed to hit 3k on the Demon Hunter, which we mentioned earlier. Week 3, by the way. Week 3, pretty huge. Video on that coming Friday. Didn't quite get all the 23s that I wanted done this week, but we've got plenty of time and I'll get there. Like, end goal, I'm not actually sure how much I want to get. Like, I would kind of like 25s and 6s. Like, if I end the season with 25s and 6s, I would be very happy. But we've been practicing as a team, doing some 25s, and I mean, we're making some individual mistakes. I think Mimi's having a hard time on the Brewmaster right now, although she hasn't really got the gear. She's kind of lacking in that department, so once she gets it, might actually be very good. And just overall, I mean, it's still like we're now in week 4, so season's still only just beginning, and we're already like practicing 25s and time in 24s. So yeah, I'm incredibly happy with my progress and the team's progress, and I'm having so much fun with the team. So much fun. I'm often very quiet, and I think again because of like ADHD and focus, and sometimes like because the Tuesdays I'm doing it live on stream as well, and I've got Twitch chat that I really don't like to miss any messages. The focus, it just makes everything so much harder. I've obviously my gameplay, I've got Twitch chat, trying to listen to the guys on Discord, and we're not like mega taking it seriously. The guys are having a laugh and a good time. I don't really pitch in with much of the conversation. I usually just sit there and listen. Like, I'm enjoying it so much. And then the Paladin that got the Gorehowl from Mr. Saj Businessman. Again, thank you so much. Still feel bad. It shall forever be known as Saj Howl. And I'm probably too cheap for the legendary, so I'll probably keep that until the end of the season. Plans for this reset. Of course, I'm going to continue pushing Mythic Plus on the Havoc Demon Hunter. I'm going to continue farming a little bit on the Paladin. They've both got raids, and I'm hoping that community raid with the Loot Goblins can get back to Farak, but we'll see. I don't really know what the plans are. Don't know if I guess we might do Farak and then jump into Heroic. No reason why we shouldn't get back to Heroic Farak, to be honest, but we'll see how that goes. And then I'm kind of torn between Vengeance, Demon Hunter, and Prot Paladin, and I think I'm going to try both, but I think I'm leaning more towards the Prot Paladin because it's probably the easier to play and pick up. And I think looking at the Vengeance Demon Hunter and the build that I want to play, it has like 4 sigils. At the minute, I'm kind of struggling as to where I feel most comfortable using them. It's a little overwhelming. It just doesn't feel comfortable. And I logged on to like Prot Paladin, and I think I did some community keys. I did the time walk-ins, and it just felt so much easier. And at the minute, Prot Paladin does look like it's on the rise, especially like those higher keys. So I'm leaning more towards the Prot Paladin at this point, but I'm going to try both of them. As for healers, I still don't have one in mind, but the one that scares me the most is Disc Priest, so I kind of feel like I need to do it. I do want to tank and heal all 20s this season, and I think once the Warlock challenge is finished and complete, I think I'll do both of those live on stream, so you'll probably have some stream content with that, and I'll probably post the videos on YouTube as well. All right, I think that's enough. I need to get this video out. This has been a long one. I apologize. I've waffled on for far too long. Thank you to all my Patreons. You guys are absolutely amazing. You can see their names on the screen as I speak. If you enjoyed today's video, a like would be much appreciated. Consider subscribing to the channel so you don't miss out on all of the awesome Mythic Plus content we've got coming your way. And of course, we're going to take the Affliction Warlock from 0 to KSH. If that's not a reason to sub to the channel, then I just don't know what is. Be sure to follow me over on Twitch if you want to come and watch me live, or perhaps join me for some Keystones. But that's me done. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you in the next one.